news in the tragic death of actor Hayden Panettiere.
So Panettiere's mother, Leslie Vogel, is speaking out for the first time exclusively to NBC News. Vogel is bringing up the history.
This morning, Hollywood is mourning the sudden death of actress Hayden Panettiere, who passed away in South Carolina at the age of 36. Police reportedly responding to a...
Now reporting that the Drug Enforcement Administration now has agents assisting in the death investigation. TMZ also reports that Narcan was found in the...
Just weeks before her final breath abruptly ceased at the age of 36, the woman who was once an immortal icon of global screens stepped into a closed studio. Gone was the radiant makeup of a million-dollar child star. In front of the lens remained only a woman bearing deep wounds, both physical and emotional. She decided to break a two-decade silence to expose the brutal dark corners buried by the Hollywood elite, from forced pills and a bloody streak of violence to a doctor's chilling warning of a foretold death. But the most terrifying thing was that the moment she thought she had reached the light, the trap of fate snapped shut. Just in time. In May 2026, Hayden Panettiere officially released her memoir titled, "This Is Me, A Reckoning." The work immediately triggered a media earthquake by fully exposing the brutal shadows behind Hollywood's glitz and glamour. The book not only recounts her survival journey through childhood fame, but also uncovers years submerged in domestic violence and the pain of losing loved ones. The public was stunned by the raw portrait of a screen icon's psychological breakdown. Witnesses from the publishing house revealed that Hayden broke down in tears multiple times inside the audiobook recording studio.
In this deeply personal memoir, Hayden takes listeners behind the headlines and public image to reveal the challenges she faced throughout her life.
She insisted on reading every painful line herself as a ritual of soul cleansing before officially facing the public. In the grittiest pages, Hayden disclosed details about her physically exhausted condition after prolonged substance abuse. The combination of heavy alcohol and high-dose tranquilizers silently devastated all her internal organs. Medical experts once issued a chilling warning that her cardiovascular system and liver function were utterly depleted. Doctors affirmed that if she did not stop immediately, the actress would find it difficult to survive beyond 5 years. Even while facing a grim health verdict, the actress still strived to seek a chance at rebirth through every page of her memoir. By July, she decided to appear in an in-depth interview on the On Purpose podcast with Jay Shetty. The camera captured the image of a petite Hayden looking somewhat weary, but her eyes held an extraordinary determination. This conversation, combined with an interview in Dear Mommy magazine, became her final public statements. During the taping, she did not hesitate to address questions regarding the geographical distance from her daughter Kaya, who was 11 at the time. Hayden shared that being separated from her child was once the most agonizing decision, but a necessary one to protect the child's future. Choking back tears, the actress opened up about the sacred bond with her young daughter. "I talk to her every day. I hope when she grows up, she will read this book and understand her mother's story, understand why back then her mother couldn't be by her side." Reflecting on past mistakes, she admitted she was still a work in progress, requiring much patience. Hayden stated that she was striving day by day to forgive herself, letting go of guilt in order to rebuild her life step by step. Everyone present in the studio could feel the fierce desire to live radiating from the woman who had walked through hell. She enthusiastically shared new artistic projects, along with her desire to become an inspiration for victims who had suffered trauma. When asked about the road ahead, Hayden left a message full of hope that has now turned into a poignant haunt. "I feel like I've shaken off the darkness. One door closes, another opens, and I believe I still have a very long road ahead to live." Those hopeful declarations of a bright future never came true, Just weeks after the interview, a 911 emergency call on a fateful Sunday afternoon permanently brought the 36-year-old star's life to a close. The fateful stroke. On August 16, 2026, the 911 emergency dispatch in the city of Greenville, South Carolina, unexpectedly received a call reporting an unconscious woman who had suffered sudden cardiac arrest at a local apartment. Medical personnel arrived at the scene immediately and performed advanced cardiopulmonary resuscitation under extreme tension. All efforts proved fruitless, as the victim was pronounced dead at 2:32 p.m. at the age of 36. The identity of the woman was swiftly confirmed to be former star Hayden Panettiere, exactly 5 days before her 37th birthday. Local police authorities subsequently confirmed finding no signs of forced entry or foul play at the scene. Brian Hickerson and his brother were present at the apartment at the time of the incident and cooperated with authorities to provide statements. Preliminary reports indicated that an acute cardiac episode triggered by long-standing health complications claimed the life of the talented actress. Immediately following the tragedy, legal matters surrounding Hayden's estimated net worth of $6 to $15 million drew special public attention. This estate includes valuable real estate in the Hollywood Hills and Nashville, along with long-term artistic royalties. All inheritance rights and the secured trust fund were fully entrusted by the actress to her 11-year-old daughter, Kaya Evdokia. Legal guardianship over the young girl's assets was entrusted to her father, former world boxing champion Vladimir Klitschko. Hayden's premature passing sent a seismic wave of grief throughout the entire Hollywood film capital. Her biological father, Skip Panettiere, choked back tears as he shared with the media that his daughter was an extraordinary beacon of light who always gave endless love to everyone. Her former fiancé, Vladimir Klitschko, sent an emotional tribute message. "Nothing can erase the memories we shared together and her place in our lives." He pledged to protect and raise their daughter Kaya to adulthood in accordance with Hayden's wishes. Oscar-winning actress Viola Davis also offered the most sacred tribute to her ill-fated colleague. "I saw in you the image of a phoenix rising from the ashes. Your trials have become a legacy. Rest in peace, Hayden." A series of close co-stars, including Connie Britton from the series Nashville, David Arquette from the Scream franchise, and Bethany Joy Lenz simultaneously posted sorrowful reminiscences. They were stunned by the cruelty of fate, as Hayden had just regained her peace only to depart so abruptly. Fans around the world organized candlelight vigils in her memory at the Hollywood Walk of Fame, as well as downtown Nashville. Thousands of poignant messages were sent, mourning a brilliant screen talent who bore a fate filled with so many ups and downs. The stage lights went out permanently, leaving behind infinite sorrow alongside a painful indictment of the entire cinema capital. The tragedy that claimed the 36-year-old woman's life was never a random incident, but rather a harsh trap set from the moment an infant was thrust into the cruel machine of fame. Tattoos behind the glamour. Satturitri. Born in August 1989 in New York, Hayden Panettiere's childhood was swept into the studio grind as early as 11 months old through commercial contracts. At the age of 4, she continuously appeared in long-running television projects such as One Life to Live and Guiding Light. In 2000, her role in the classic Remember the Titans turned Hayden into a sought-after golden doll in Hollywood. Global fame truly erupted in 2006 when she transformed into the cheerleader Claire Bennett in the hit television series Heroes. Behind the glamour at age 16 was a grueling work schedule of up to 16 hours a day. To maintain alertness and a radiant appearance for dense press junkets, her management team began forcing her to use stimulant pills. Hayden once revealed how she was pharmaceutically manipulated from her adolescence. They would give them to me and say, "These are happy pills, they'll help you stay alert." This was the cruel doorway thrusting her into long years of dependency. The dark entertainment environment also pushed the young girl into many unpredictable dangers within the industry. During a closed business meeting in Los Angeles, Hayden was subjected to harassment and serious boundary violations by a senior Oscar-winning actor. The haunting incident forced the young girl to bury her fear in silence for years before the hidden power of the movie capital. Psychological trauma from her teenage years early on marked the beginning of a prolonged stormy period throughout the actress's life. The unexpected occurrence left the girl not even 20 trembling and looking for a way to flee the room. Hayden was forced to bury the incident in silence for years out of fear of the immense power held by someone with major status in the filmmaking industry. Alongside the covert pressure, the cruel scrutiny of the tabloid media dealt another heavy blow to Hayden's psyche. Paparazzi constantly stalked her, secretly snapping photos of every angle of the teenage girl's body on public beaches. A major entertainment magazine subsequently printed a close-up candid photo of her legs with the prominent capitalized caption, "Cellulite." This cruel body shaming plunged the actress into severe body dysmorphia and an eating disorder that lasted throughout her youth. Hayden once emotionally shared the humiliation she endured at that time. "I felt completely humiliated before the whole world, just as I was entering adulthood." From then on, she was constantly obsessed with forcing herself to maintain a flawless figure, not only enduring pressure from the industry, her family home, the only place of refuge, also swiftly collapsed. Bitter conflicts erupted between her and her biological mother, who simultaneously held management control over all her daughter's income and artistic contracts. Her parents' marriage fell apart, dragging along a series of fierce legal lawsuits and property disputes lasting from 2008 all the way to 2016. Hayden was reluctantly dragged into the financial vortex, becoming the primary financial source, carrying the entire fracturing family. Departing from the immortal cheerleader persona of heroes, Hayden stepped into a new chapter with peak fame in the capital of country music. Little did she know that very next successful role would be a distorted mirror reflecting the living hell into which she was about to step. The Nightmare of Depression. In 2012, Hayden Panettiere made a spectacular comeback with the role of Juliet Barnes in the hit series Nashville, earning 2 prestigious Golden Globe nominations. The artistic glory quickly turned into pressure as the writing staff continuously exploited her personal turmoil for the scripts. Having to reenact her inner trauma in front of the camera every single day pushed the actress's mental state into complete exhaustion. Hayden once bitterly confided, "I had to live in hell twice, once at home as Hayden and once on screen in front of millions of people as Juliet." At the peak of her career, the romance between her and boxing champion Vladimir Klitschko became the focal point of international media. The couple announced their engagement and eagerly prepared to welcome their first daughter. But the labor in December 2014 turned into a life-or-death ordeal. Following 14 hours of complicated labor, doctors were forced to perform an emergency cesarean section lasting for 3 consecutive hours. A failure of blood clotting along with a severe uterine infection forced the medical team to transfuse 7 consecutive units of blood to preserve the young mother's life. Having barely escaped the physical borderline of death, Hayden was immediately swept into a brutal storm of postpartum depression (PPD). The heavy psychological crisis severed the initial emotional bond between her and her infant daughter Kaya, ushering in a dark downward spiral. Crushed by a heavy sense of guilt, Hayden turned to alcohol as an anesthetic to escape reality. She began drinking hard liquor starting at 6 a.m., just to muster enough strength to get out of bed and head to the set for work. To control her panic attacks, doctors prescribed high-dose Klonopin tranquilizers. The dangerous combination of neurological depressants and high alcohol levels plunged her physical state into exhaustion, turning her into a lifeless shadow. Multiple witnesses on the Nashville set noted that she was constantly trembling and disoriented, culminating in a fainting incident on the performance floor that required emergency hospitalization. From 2015 to 2016, Hayden proactively put her career on hold twice to enter rehab centers. Even with intense treatment efforts, her relationship with Vladimir Klitschko fractured deeply under the weight of prolonged crises. By 2018, when Nashville officially wrapped filming, the two decided to call off their engagement. That same year, a wave of harsh backlash erupted across Western media when daughter Kaya moved to Ukraine to live full-time with her father. Tabloid presses continuously slapped Hayden with the label of an irresponsible mother who abandoned her child. The underlying truth was a deeply agonizing sacrifice made during a crisis. Facing a life-threatening addiction, she accepted letting go so that her daughter could grow up in the safest, most stable environment. The actress once tearfully shared about the moment of signing over custody. "Signing those papers was the most heartbreaking and worst thing I ever had to do in my entire life." This separation left a desolate void inside her soul. Having lost custody of her child and with her career stalled, Hayden was completely lost amidst an entertainment capital fraught with pitfalls. She began seeking solace in new relationships, only to inadvertently step into an even darker, violent nightmare. The hell of abuse. In late 2018, after bringing her long relationship with Vladimir Klitschko to a close, Hayden Panettiere moved back to live in West Hollywood. Here she began a romantic relationship with Brian Hickerson, a freelance real estate worker. The new romance, seemingly a comforting haven following the turmoil of losing child custody, quickly turned into a streak of dark days. An environment drenched in heavy alcohol and an unstable lifestyle triggered severe violent conflicts behind closed doors. In the early morning hours of May 2, 2019, Los Angeles police received an emergency intervention call at the couple's residence. Law enforcement discovered Hayden injured with multiple bruises on her arms and neck area. Brian Hickerson was immediately arrested at the scene on felony domestic violence charges. The court subsequently issued an emergency protective order, requiring him to maintain a minimum distance of 90 meters to safeguard the actress's safety. Still, complex psychological manipulation pulled Hayden back into the dangerous vortex. The peak was the Valentine's Day holiday in February and a series of violent incidents in July 2020 in Teton County, Wyoming, where she was brutally assaulted once more. Local police reported that the actress's face suffered severe swelling and soft tissue damage following an unprovoked beating. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office subsequently officially indicted Hickerson on a total of 8 felony counts related to violence. Standing before justice, Hayden courageously went public on social media to awaken public awareness. "I am resolved to speak the truth about what happened to me in the hopes that this story will empower others to break free from abuse." By April 2021, Brian Hickerson officially pleaded guilty in court to 2 felony counts of injuring a domestic partner. The court sentenced him to 45 days in Los Angeles County Jail, along with 4 years of strict probation. Even so, the trauma bonding syndrome of an abuse victim continued to weigh heavily on the actress's mind. Brief reconciliations and loud hotel brawls in March 2022 in West Hollywood continued to turn her personal life into a center of gossip. Amidst the quagmire of violence and media isolation, her biological younger brother, Hayden Panettiere, became Hayden's sole emotional anchor. Hayden was a talented actor and artistic painter who always stood shoulder to shoulder, encouraging his older sister through the darkest hours. Fate dealt another fatal blow. to the actress's life. On February 19, 2023, Hayden Panettiere was suddenly found unresponsive in his private apartment in Nyack, New York, at just 28 years old. Medical personnel arrived to provide emergency care, but Jansen had drawn his final breath hours earlier. Investigative forensic findings subsequently confirmed the cause of death as cardiomegaly combined with aortic valve complications. The tragic news struck like a thunderbolt, completely crushing Hayden's fragile psychological recovery efforts. In a tearful family statement, Hayden choked back tears as she shared the heartbreaking agony over her brother's premature passing. "He was my only brother. My job was to protect him. Losing Jansen felt like losing half of my soul." Jansen's private funeral took place surrounded by close friends, but Hayden's physical condition grew visibly more depleted by the day. The immense pain of loss, compounded by the lingering effects of alcohol sedatives and past bouts of violence, completely eroded her health. Hayden's story leaves behind a profound lesson about the invisible pressures on child stars and the enduring battle against domestic abuse. What are your thoughts on the raw truths just exposed in her final interview? Please leave a comment sharing your civil perspective below. If you found this video insightful and meaningful, please hit like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel along with the notification bell icon. Your support is a tremendous motivation for us to continue delivering the most authentic and humane investigative stories. Thank you, and see you next time.